Right, we're with Mr. Bob Metcalf from Cleator Moor, Chairman of Cleator Moor Town Council.
Town Board.
Town Board. Right, tell us about it, Bob. What's going on? Why are we here today?
We have the opportunity of obtaining from the government £22.5 million for investment in Cleator Moor. We've been working on this for the last 2 years, and within the next 2 or 3 weeks we will be making a formal submission to the government to release that money. What we've been working on recently is more detailed designs for each project. There's 4 projects, and developing what's called the economic and business case to show that this investment will actually be economically viable and sustainable. And that bid goes into the government by the end of June, which isn't very far off.
Now, these boards that you've got here, Cleator Moor's going to look awesome, like.
Well, I hope so.
Shall we have a look? So what's this? So
well, this one is the revitalised town, which is the redevelopment of the council chambers in the centre of Cleator Moor. They've been vacant for some time. The last tenant to leave the main part of the building was the credit union, and they've departed. So basically the place is empty, apart from the kiosk use on the ground floor, the basement floor should I say. But we are going to put them in separate premises.
Let's have a look. So you're looking at like cafe, outside seating.
Yeah, this is the library. Library will form part of the complex. It'll link via the cafe to the existing rooms in the council chamber, and underneath will be a new home for Phoenix youth.
Fantastic. And then over here, you're looking at here.
Well, that's just a diagram of the public realm works that will go outside. We're going to take most of the railings down, a lot more planting because it's not particularly attractive, it's a very hard landscape, and new seating. We are retaining some of the car parking because it's essential for local businesses, and we're going to move the Conrad Atkinson sculptures. They will stay on the square, but moved elsewhere, yes.
What about the other side?
Now that's the Healthy Town Initiative.
Healthy Town?
Yeah, this is the redevelopment of what people now call the Bowls Centre.
Okay.
Which is a bit off-centre. It's not the idea, but it exists. And it's used, currently its main use is used for indoor bowling in the winter months. But we want a facility that appeals to the widest sections of the Cleator Moor community. So it would include uses that would be good for children, for women, for men, for disabled groups, and other particular groups as well. The constraint we have is the height of the centre. It's not a very high room, which restricts us on what some sports that could take place. But I think we can work around that to a certain degree. And this is where we're going to relocate Cosc.
Right, so how many costs are going in there?
Well, if you look at this plan, this is the project overview. That is the existing Bowls Centre.
Yeah.
But we're changing that to 4 courts, badminton, or a 5-a-side pitch. We could also use it for indoor cricket nets, netball, all sorts of other sports. Might not be to a competitive league standard, but that's not the point. The point is getting people involved and working. And then on the back, there's new changing rooms for the 3G pitch, which is next door. If you look at this one, that's the 3G pitch, which we renewed last year. £300,000 investment. And that's the changing rooms. and the COSC facility, which I already mentioned. It's to improve connectivity, particularly for pedestrians and cyclists, to provide better links to the cycleway, to link Leconfield Street, industrial estate, into the town centre and onto the C2C cycleway, and then various other routes through the centre of Cleator Moor.
Yeah, it's not as exciting as the other stuff.
No, it isn't. It isn't. But
I like them pictures.
Yeah. It isn't as dramatic as the others. But what it will do is there'll be three features for entering the town. One at Mill Hill. Okay. One at Leconfield Street Industrial Estate, which is the biggest employment site in Cleator Moor, and one at Wath Brow, which is onto the A5086, which is a principal route into Cleator Moor. So that's what Connected Town's about.
So getting down to it, because when people hear about these projects and such, you just think it's pie in the sky. It's never going to happen. But this is happening.
This will happen,
and we've got a time scale to be 24.
It's got to be spent by the numbers. The money's got to be spent by 2025.
So when can we expect bricks and mortar to be getting set down?
Next spring.
So Cleator Moor.
Late winter next spring.
So Cleator Moor is going to start seeing works on the ground and improvements
early next year.
Yes. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we like that.
Yeah. No, there's no reason why it can't work. There's 4 projects. We've talked about 3 of them.
Yeah. And the final one is...
It's the hub building.
That's the hub building. That's the building on Leconfield.
Yeah.
And
to do that, we need to relocate the British Oxygen Depot, which is on site. Yeah. That's underway. The planning application in for that. And we're also going to revitalise some of the existing industrial premises on site to bring them up to more modern standards. And we also include a lot of landscaping works and improving the road and footpaths. So it'll look a lot better than it does now.
Right, okay. So overall you've got industry covered, i.e. on Leconfield, which is cool.
Yeah.
You've got sports, fitness, well-being.
Yeah.
You've got cafes.
Yeah. Cycleways.
Cycleways. Is the bats?
No, footpaths. Sorry, beg your pardon. Footpaths.
Is there anything aside from a culture point of view?
Well, we hope to develop cultural facilities within the Revitalised Town project, which is reusing the council facilities.
Okay.
We're looking at the possibility of, in fact I had discussions on this earlier this afternoon, about developing some means of portraying the heritage of Cleator Moor, like the iron mine industry, iron and coal mining industry, the Irish diaspora, and Cornish as well. Yeah, don't forget them. And the growth of the town over the last, 150, 160 years. But don't forget, if you went back to about 1870,
it wasn't exist.
Cleator Moor didn't exist.
No, it didn't.
There was a couple of farms.
It was.
Cleator was the main centre.
It was since the 9th century.
Well,
so,
Doomsday Book, Cleator,
So, and finally then, for local businesses that are already situated on Cleator Moor High Street and in and around Cleator, is there anything in it for them where they'll see benefits directly themselves, i.e. frontage?
Well, they can certainly do that, of course, but I think the main advantage for local businesses around the centre of the moor is the fact that the Revitalised Town project, with all these uses going into the council offices, will dramatically increase footfall in Cleator Moor. And once you get footfall, you get people going into shops. Even if it's only to nip in for, a couple of quids worth of whatever.
Well, it works so far. We've seen what you've done.
But it works.
Well, we know it works.
Yeah.
Well, Phoenix Enterprise Centre, these projects have already brought hundreds of people into town week in, week out.
Phoenix Enterprise Centre has 45,000 square foot of commercial floor space, over 30 businesses and pushing 300 people working out of it. Slap bang in the centre. The total cost of our projects pushing £40 million, of which 22 million will be from the government's town deal fund. The rest of the money, most of which is secured, not all, most of which is secured, comes from a number of other sources, including Copeland Community Fund, the Sellafield Sites Limited, other nuclear partners, and from local authorities' own budgets.
Right.
So when we say the project's worth £22 million, it's nearer it's 40.
Is that right? £40 million? Well, let's hope it's money well spent.
Well, if it hasn't been well spent, you know where to find me.
Happy days. Cheers, Bob. Yeah. Say so. Well, yeah, well done. It looks great. It looks marvellous. Well done. Good luck. We can't wait to see it, the building start.
Aye, exactly.